Good morning. Today is February 11th of 23, and I've been doing a lot of gardening here lately. What I wanted to talk about today is the licorice fern, Polypodium glycyrrhiza. It's one of our native ferns here in the Pacific Northwest. It's very common. It's a very nice little accent fern. Here's some. So these can grow in the ground like this, or where you more commonly see them is growing as epiphytes on hardwood trees, like mostly oaks. And they're really nice accent ferns, accent plants. They are winter green, so the foliage dies in the summertime, but you know, it's February and they're here and green. So I have transitioned these from ground to epiphyte before, and I'm gonna try it again. And Momo is gonna help me. Are you gonna help me, girl? Maybe not. So these spread underground by a shallow rhizome. It's not very deep, and like most rhizomes, plants that grow from rhizomes, the rhizomes grow, they just kind of wander underground. So they don't always follow, if you got a line of them, they don't always grow the way that you think that they do. So you might want to dig out an area a little bigger than you think you need to ensure that you get as much rhizome as possible. Getting as much rhizome and root material as possible, I think, is kind of critical. Whenever you transplant something, you want as much nutrient delivery system as you can get. So let's work some of the soil away. We got this moss here holding the soil ball together. Just kind of pull it out and away here. There's a little bit of grass too. I don't like grass. There's some rhizome right there. This little greenish brown piece. Here's another rhizome. So there we go. Well, I broke that piece of rhizome right here, so I might try to pull that piece apart. Yeah, that'll work. Okay. So I pulled away as much soil as I can. The rest of the soil is still pretty caked in there. There's a bunch of roots, probably from the grass, that's kind of holding everything together. I'm gonna try to reduce the soil ball here a little bit, because I don't want that much whenever I try to stick it to the tree. So, okay, so here's the one that I transitioned from the ground to epiphyte. And I dug it up from the same part of my yard over there, and this was last winter, coming into the spring, I think. And I just put it into a void in the bark here, kind of like this little cutout right here. And then spring turned into summer, the foliage died, and then it came back this winter. So I'm pretty happy with the transition attempt, and it's rooted into the bark now. It's actually dug in. If you try and move the rhizome bundle around, it's actually sunk in there. Here's one I placed somewhere up here, I'm not sure where, and it fell down to the ground, and it has just rooted into the ground. So I would say transplanting Polypodium glycyrrhiza is pretty easy, and it's pretty prolific. So, well, since these have so much soil still attached, I'm gonna do what I did just a little bit ago and let them soak in the water for a little bit. If it was warmer, I'd just use the hose, but I don't want to run ice cold water over my fingers any more than I have to. So here's one that I soaked earlier. Take my gloves off so I can keep my gloves dry. I think I've got about as much soil rinsed away as I can get on this one here. So what I'm trying to put this on today is this butia, and I've already got several pieces stuffed into the boots. So I don't know if this will work or not. I know that it worked on the Doug fir. I don't know if it will work on a butia, on a palm. I don't know if there's enough nutrients in the ligules, the trunk fiber here. And I also know that the petioles of these ferns, I'm sorry, the petioles of these palms, as the palms continue to grow, the petiole will slowly continue to push out a little bit more and more. So I don't know if the licorice ferns will be able to take root in there or not. But we will see, hopefully. I don't know if I will still be here next winter or if I'm gonna move. That's up in the air. But we'll see. So I'm just gonna take a piece of the rhizome with the roots and stuff it down into the boot and try to get as much surface contact with the fibers as I can, so the roots have something to bite into. So get another. I think we'll break this in half. Find another boot there. These are kind of pokey, not as bad as a phoenix, but that's stuffed in real nice. That just might work. Okay, this rhizome's probably too big, so I think I'm gonna break another piece off and stuff it down in here too. And hopefully, ow, dadgummit. So hopefully those roots will bite into the tomentum, ligules, whatever you want to call it, the fiber here, and start being able to pull some nutrients out of the surface of the palm. And it'd be really cool to have these little accent ferns growing out of the trunk of the butia here. So got one more. Push it in over here. Okay, so we'll see. I have no idea if it's going to work on a palm or not. Hopefully I have something to report. After a while, we'll check back and see.